On this day in gaming,
Microsoft one-upped their legendary acquisition of Bungie Studios with the buyout to end all buyouts. Rare, arguably the most successful third-party game developer ever, became a first-party developer, selling its shares to its new master's chief for $375 million. Oh yes, friends and foes, this was a day rarely realized. Ultimate Play the Game was founded by Chris and Tim Stamper in the early 80s, two UK brothers whose love of video games and whose tireless work ethic produced some of the most cherished arcade-era classics, like Saberwolf and Jetpack. The home computer scene was nothing, however, compared to what the Stampers eventually saw in the Nintendo Entertainment System, the new hot gaming machine that was tearing it up in North American and Japanese markets, but had yet to really make much of an impact in Britain. Changing their name from Ultimate to Rare, the company would nonetheless continue their critical custom of putting together some great games for the NES, including Wizards and Warriors, RC Pro-Am, and Battletoads, before ultimately, in 1994, selling 49% of their share to Nintendo, becoming a second-party developer, which technically it had been already, developing solely for Nintendo's console, a decision that dismayed many computer diehards in Europe that still weren't all that impressed with the Japanese Joy Toy. The Rareware Renaissance was about to begin. From 1994 until selling 100% of the company in 2002, Rareware was one of Nintendo's top assets, constructing a string of smash hits, critically and commercially, some of which just rocked and some of which revolutionized. Donkey Kong Country, with its use of pre-rendered graphics, became one of the most beautiful Super Nintendo games ever, not to mention the first Donkey Kong game developed outside of Nintendo and without the involvement of Shigeru Miyamoto. Once the Nintendo 64 hit, Rare really hit stride, continuing to earn a name for themselves in the days when the freedom of 3D gaming had made Mario 64 and the platformer massively popular. But Rare was hardly constricted to one genre. The Stampers and their workhorse team, in quite possibly their greatest legacy, blew apart the PC's monopoly on the first-person shooter. Goldeneye 007 and Perfect Dark paving the way for the evolved combat and modern warfare firmly fixed on the front today. But in 2002, after their send-off swan song with Nintendo and Star Fox Adventures, Microsoft bought the entire company in a decision that would come to be scrutinized by many a fan and critic. Many aficionados of Rare's glory days disappointed at the utilization of the buyout. Rare were a secretive bunch. They didn't like the media all that much, they worked long hours, they were headed by veteran leadership, and they made the kind of games that they had wanted to play. They were the ultimate developer, even after they gave up that brand. Makes you wonder if Rare still had a few mega hits left in their library of locked imagination, or if the 2000s would have anachronized them anyway. We shall never know, because of this day in gaming when one of the greatest developers in video games was hawked and lost its golden gun. September 20th, 2002.